Hello everyone, welcome back to the show. We're here at the Broadway Comedy Club in New York City for the Jewish Week's Funniest Comedian Contest. Let's take a closer look.
Put your hands together for the comedy of Dr. Freeman. Here we go. Okay, how we all doing tonight? That's what I like to hear, a drunk crowd. I love that. My name is Dr. Freddie Seltzer. I am your host, your MC, your master of ceremonies for the evening. I will shepherd you through an evening of merriment and mirth. I read that someplace. It just sounded pretty cool. I had nowhere else to use it. We're here to laugh and have a good time. I will tell you that I am very lucky because in 2009, when I won this contest, I did not have to compete against the group we have this evening. You are very, very lucky. They are an outstanding group of contestants. So we're ready to laugh? Yeah! Okay. Lord knows we need to laugh. I'm a doctor. I know it's the best medicine. And we need to because if you listen to the president last week, he told us we are still going through the worst economy ever. I know that's true because Jewish girls are now marrying for love. That's right. So I feel bad for the president when you think about it. When here's a guy who passed his #1 objective, which was the healthcare law, and you have the Republicans that want to get rid of it because it's too expensive and we can't afford it. And we do everything in this country on borrowed money. Right? Question, where do we borrow our money from? China. China. You know that Confucius once said, he who borrows Chinese money, 2 hours later you need to borrow money again. That only works in the Jewish crowd for some reason. I don't know why. I'll tell you, it's not being a Democrat in the state of New York. I don't know if you realize that with all the sex scandals. We had Elliot Spitzer. In Chappaqua, we have former President Clinton, and now, of course, Elliot Wiener. Right? I mean, Governor Cuomo was so upset he's thinking of changing the name on the license plate from the Empire State to the Horn Dog State. Okay, right there you go. I'll tell you, it's really tough. I feel bad though, because they had President Clinton sit down with with Anthony Weiner, asking him to resign over a sex scandal. I mean, some folks should just write themselves, right? Having the president sit down with Anthony Weiner to resign over a sex scandal is like having the Kardashian twins host Jeopardy. It's a little odd to have that happen. You know, I feel bad because if you read the New York Times about a month ago or so, they mentioned that Anthony Weiner was directly related to capturing Osama bin Laden. They wouldn't have known where he was if it wasn't for Anthony Weiner. If you read the Times, they said it turns out that bin Laden was a little bit of an internet horn dog himself. As it turns out, yeah, the Times reported this, is pretty cool. And it turns out bin Laden was on Twitter the same time Weiner was, and they both tweeted the same girl. And that's basically how they got him through that kind of figuring this out. No, I'll tell you, in all due respects to Anthony Weiner, he did reach out across the aisle, he reached the Republicans, anything to save his job. I thought that was kind of cool. He did anything he could. He even went to President George W. Bush and he went to Vice President Cheney. He said, guys, you gotta help me, I won't do anything. He says, look, this is beyond what we can help you with. But I know if we speak to the wizard. So they all went off to the Wizard of Oz. Now when they got to the Wizard of Oz, of course, George W. asked for a brain and Dick Cheney asked for a heart, right? Of course, Anthony Weiner wanted to know what Dorothy's Twitter account was, but whatever it takes. I mentioned love before, and I know we got 1 or 2 Jewish mothers in the audience. I want to share this with you. 2 weeks ago yesterday, I got engaged for the 2nd time to be married. So I'm kind of excited about that. Thank you. That's a major commitment for me when you consider how my first marriage went. You may have seen the movie they made about my marriage, Apocalypse Now. Well, I learned a lot from my marriage. I learned a lot more from my divorce. Now, to the younger fellows in the audience, let me give you some words of advice. Listen to your parents. They have from a different perspective. They see things differently. They have your best interests at heart. I know every woman I introduced to my mother, she hated everyone. I figured my soon-to-be ex-wife, my new wife, would be different because Susan actually looked like my mother, she talked like my mother, and she walked like my mother. So of course, when I brought her home, my father hated her. It wasn't easy. Second thing I learned, never marry a woman just because she's drop-dead gorgeous. My ex was drop-dead gorgeous, she really was. But I found out that beauty is only skin deep. But alimony cuts to the bone. I want to tell you. And I learned about beauty. This is interesting. Women's beauty, when they lose it, it goes overnight. I went to bed one night with Julia Roberts. Woke up the next morning with Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, Lord. I would show you a picture of Susan, but she doesn't cast an image on film. No, I'm joking. She's not really a vampire. Bloodsucker, yeah, but not a vampire. But you can see a picture of her. If you do want to do this, I always say this, I know I can do this. It's not a divorce, I can say this. Go on to YouTube. Type in 2011 Midwest tornadoes. And you'll see her on a little bicycle with a little basket with a little dog going doo 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 doo. Okay, when you get home tonight, I want you to go on the computer, type in Wizard of Oz, and in about 6 minutes, you're going to laugh at that joke. I promise you that. We went to the rabbi for marriage counseling. We tried that. He said, I'm not really sensitive with my wife's feelings. He said, do you speak to your wife after you have sex? I said, every time my cell phone is on the nightstand, I pick it up, I hit speed dial, I reach out. I do. Well, finally, he said, you need to take her on a vacation, something romantic. Rekindle the original spark you had. So I took her to Paris, the one in France. I'd spare no expense. And while she was in the room unpacking, I was walking down the Champs-Elysees and just taking in the culture, the trees, the stores, the atmosphere, and this incredibly beautiful woman approached me from the distance. I mean, long black hair, perfect body, porcelain skin. As she got closer, I realized that she was a lady of the evening, and she offered me her services for $200. That's right. Being from New York, being Jewish, of course, I offered her 20 bucks. She said, why are you Americans so cheap? Well, later that evening, my wife and I were walking back from dinner, and as you would have it, of course, who approached us? You guessed it, that same French streetwalker. She looked at me, she stared at my wife, and as she passed, she whispered into my ear, do you see what you get for $20? You're gonna matter. Listen, we have a wonderful show for you this evening. I want to bring up a gentleman I know you all know. He's been performing forever. He literally is one of the funniest guys I know. He was really famous, of course, for those who saw Catskills on Broadway. Please welcome the one, the only, Dick Capri.
What does that mean when they tickle the palm of your hand? Anyway, for those of you who've never seen my kind of nonsense, like they say, the type of comedy that I do. First of all, I don't use four-letter words. I don't use any obscene material, and I don't do the kind of material that many of the young comedians use on television. I also do not have a job in the immediate future, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm delighted to be here tonight. The Broadway Comedy Club. It's on my bucket list. And he told me how much I'm going to love the audience tonight. And even though I say I love you, I am seeing other audiences on the side. Mostly in Florida now. I go to Florida all the winter because I can't stand the cold weather, and I work with the senior citizens in Florida. I work places where I walk on stage. I'm the only one in the room with original hips. But I love seniors. I love the seniors there. They help you. They help you. I'm driving there. I don't know where I'm going. I see a senior in the corner. I'm looking for the highway. And I say, how do you get to 95? He says, don't eat meat. Everything's in Florida I like. Everything is there that I like. I like the restaurants there. I like the weather. Every Broadway show comes to Florida. You know, you've been there. You probably do the same thing I do. I love the Broadway shows. Somebody said to me, did you see the vagina monologues? I said, I saw the opening. I didn't stay for the whole thing. I left prematurely. It was a premature evacuation. Here's the kind of joke that the seniors like. There are two seniors at home watching television, and the husband gets up to go to the kitchen. The wife says, where are you going? He says, oh, I want to get some ice cream. She says, well, I'll get it for you. He said, but I want some whipped cream on it. She's okay, and a cherry on top. She's okay, I'll get it for you. He says, well, write it down. She said, I don't have to write it down. I know what you want. Ice cream, whipped cream, and a cherry on top. You better write it down. She said, I don't have to write it down. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Goes in the kitchen. 10 minutes later, she comes back. 2 fried eggs. He said, I told you to write it down. She said, what did I forget? He said, the toast. These are opening jokes. You know how this stuff works. These are opening jokes. Here's a fairy tale. A very short fairy tale. Once upon a time, this guy says to this girl, will you marry me? And she said no. And he lived happily ever after. Opening jokes. You know. I just heard in the news that the Pope is thinking of letting priests get married. But only the Jewish women. That way they'll still remain celibate. I heard that. It's nice to. This is supposed to be all Jewish, right? What did they use me for? They ran out of Jewish comedians, that's what happened. I know about Jews. I worked at Catskills all my life. You know, learned a lot of Yiddish words. A lot of Yiddish words I know. I can't speak Yiddish, but I know a lot of words. This is my pupik, this is my punum, this is my tukas. I know these words. They're going to help me. My next life, I'm going to be Jewish anyway. I want to be able to do things that Jewish people do. I want to drink out of a Yorkshire glass. I want to keep 2 sets of dishes. And 2 sets of books. There's no Jewish people here. No Jewish people. It's not like the old days, you know. I was younger then. And I felt good, you know. Now, you know, you start to break down. You get an age, you break down. You know, we got young people here, all the young people, they don't know about the ails we have. The ailments, the knees go first. First the left knee, then the right knee, then the wee knee, then it's all over, guys. They get us with that gorilla. Viagra doesn't help me. What is it, $10 a pill? My insurance company won't cover it. It's what I do. I break them in half, and I date midgets. I don't know what to do to look younger anymore. I'm trying everything. Getting a little thing here, too. I told their plastic surgeon, I said, what should I do to look younger? He said, tell people you're 10 years older. No, I'm breaking down. I'm breaking down. I ain't lying. I'm breaking down. I used to go to discos. Now I go to Costco's. I've been using stool softener as a recreational drug. My body functions are normal, but they're involuntary. It's not like the old days. The old days, you know, when I was working in Vegas, you know, in Atlantic City, no Vegas anymore. You're going to be an animal act, you know. I was the warm-up comedian. I was the warm-up comedian for the singing stars. You know, that's what I did. You know, I opened for Stephen Eady and Engelbert Humperdinck, Frank Sinatra. I did 2 concerts with Frank Sinatra. He was very nice. Always let me ride in his limousine with him. I just hated wearing that damn uniform. I toured with Tom Jones for about 3 years. He's 70 now. Can you imagine Tom Jones is 70? Still sexy, still sings good, still goes out with the tight pants. Remember those old days? When they said he put a sock in there to give him that macho look? Well, he's 70, probably still puts a sock in there, but now he has to put a shoe in with it. Looks like a bunch of grapes in there. You could always tell if you had grapes in there. If you look closely, right about here, fruit flies. He always wants to gamble, though. You go to Atlantic City, they want you to gamble. I'm the worst. I'm the worst gambler, you know, but there's nothing to do there. It's boring to death. And I'm at the blackjack table, 3 in the morning, meet 5 black guys. I got a black dealer. I get blackjack. I'm afraid to call my hand. He said, so what do you have? I said, gin. No guts. No guts. I usually go there. I work for Donald Trump, or as known all over the world as the Donald. Even his ex-wife calls him the Donald. I can relate to that. My ex-wife calls me the Dick. Right, my name's Richard. All my life they call me Dick. Such a loser's name. That means you're stupid. How many times you hear somebody say, does he know anything? Are you kidding? He don't know Dick. Also means you're broke. Does he have any money? Are you kidding? He ain't got dick. If you're really broke, you got diddly dick. If you don't have a job, you don't do dick. And all my life I heard of Tom, Dick, and Harry. I never heard of a Tom Head. I never heard of a Harry Head. The name is killing my career. They were going to give me my own cooking show on the Food Network. And they canceled the show because they heard the name of the show is going to be called Cooking with... Where do they get the name Dick from anyway? How do you get Dick out of Richard? How does that happen? How do you get Bob out of Robert? How do you get Chuck out of Charles? How do you get Charles out of Camilla? I've done it all now. I've done it all. I've been all over the world. Paris, London, Rome, Shelburne, Gallenville, Cahongston, ladies and gentlemen, I've done it. See the young people, they don't know Cahongston. Where are the Jews? Where are the Jews? Right here. The Jews don't do that. I've been all over. Been to France. I don't eat that stuff, that French food. And those European women said that, you know, some of them will not use that Lady Remington. They wait till you like this. You can see Willie Nelson over here. So disgusting. Lady, give me a break. We got kids here. People are eating. Once I went to one of those French restaurants, a fancy restaurant. I want to impress this woman I was with. I could order in French. I made a fool of myself. I ordered a menage a trois. But try to find a good Italian restaurant when you're traveling. You try to find a good Italian restaurant in Utah. I go in this restaurant, I figured take a chance to sit at the waiter. I said, what comes with the veal scallopini? He says, severe vomiting and diarrhea. They know nothing about Italian food, one of those spaghetti houses. I asked for al dente. The owner showed up. And the waiter wasn't too swift either. Heard the maitre d' say on wine for table 3. He came over and went, oh, it's silly. Maitre d' says, this is a 5-star restaurant. Any questions? I said, yes, I have a question. I said, I noticed all your waiters in your 5-star restaurant, a teaspoon in their front breast pocket. He said, well, there's a 5-star restaurant. He said, we noticed the most frequently dropped utensil is the teaspoon. One of our customers dropped one, we reach in our pocket, replace it immediately. Any other questions? Yes, I have another question. I noticed all your waiters also have a string hanging from their zipper. He said, we're very sanitary in our restaurant. When we go to the men's room, our hands never touch our body. We stand there and use the string. If you get my drift. I said, well, how do you put everything back into its original position? He said, I don't know about these other guys, but I have this spoon. It's the old spoon joke. And I want to thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And cake is in the hate. The Reformed rabbi says, what does that mean? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Stick to free, everyone.
Okay, we're going to continue. This is our first contestant you're going to see up here. He is a very funny individual from Long Island. He appears all over. Not necessarily doing comedy, but he appears all over. You'll see him. Please welcome Les Deegan.
All right, thanks everybody. Hi, so happy Monday. All right, so check it out. You never know where you're going to get a good meal. Yesterday I was furniture shopping, and I actually had a sandwich in the coffee shop at IKEA. Have you been there? Yeah. I couldn't believe it. It was delicious and reasonable, you know, but I had to assemble it. On the way over here tonight, I stopped by for a quick pick-me-up at Starbucks. Yeah, I love going to Starbucks. To be honest with you, I hate the coffee. but it's the only place where I'm considered a tall. So my name is Les. Les is short for Leslie. Right, I was named after my grandfather Eliezer, which in Hebrew means girl's name. I hate when people make fun of me. Leslie's a girl's name! Oh, shut up, Uncle Judy. I'm a first-generation American. My parents are both from Vienna, Austria, and they speak German. Now, what's really weird is that we're also Jewish. We once spent 3 years hiding from ourselves. How strange is that? My goodness. But you know, I'm very proud to be Jewish, but I always envied my Catholic friends. Where's my Catholics tonight? We have no Catholics. Good, we can talk about the Catholics. You know why? Because the Catholics get to do that cool thing. The sign of the cross. Right? I mean, think about it. That's one thing that us Jews don't have. A decent hand signal. We don't. I don't know, maybe when we go to temple, we should use the Jewish star. Hey, Harry! Baruch Hashem! Good Shabbos! Thanks, maybe we should do that. Sure. I'm the only Jew on my block, and every year during Christmas, my neighbors give me these dirty looks because we're the only house that doesn't have any decorations in front. So finally in December, my wife and I put on our front lawn this big plastic electric light-up statue of Jackie Mason. No, I'm only kidding. We put it in the front window. Sincerely though, no matter what your faith, I truly believe that we all have one God, the Jewish God. And he started all the other religions just for tax purposes. Gotta think about that. Speaking of taxes, the Long Island Railroad's been spending thousands of dollars on this PR campaign to warn all the riders against falling into the gap between the train and the platform. You familiar with this, anybody? Okay. They're now hiring celebrities to make announcements at all the stations, right? Every morning at 6:49, I have to listen to Alec Baldwin. Hi, this is Alec Baldwin. Be trained smart, step over the gap. Why would they have Alec Baldwin making this announcement? He never rides the train. You want to have a public service announcement about not verbally abusing your kids? Alec Baldwin. I think the railroad should have actual riders that have already fallen into the gap, making the announcements. Morning, everybody. This is Joe Weingarten from Washington Avenue in Seaford. How you doing? 9 months ago, I was texting my bookie while boarding a train in Jamaica when I fell into the gap. I ruptured my spleen and broke my leg in 3 places. I've been out of work for 9 months. My wife's driving me friggin' crazy. So do yourselves a favor. Don't be an asshole like me. Be train smart. Step over the gap. Thank you. You know, Dick was talking about seniors before. I was reading in the paper that to combat the pain of arthritis, that more and more seniors are smoking medicinal marijuana. Right? And in the article, it talks about an 88-year-old lady named Florence Siegel. Every night before she goes to bed, she smokes a joint. Can you imagine the conversation in this house?
I noticed my arthritis is killing me. Did you pick up my prescription for Acapulco Gold?
Oh, Florence, I forgot to tell you we're not covered anymore. I could only get the generic Mexican.
Mexican? What are you crazy, Marcus, with my diverticulitis? You know I can't have anything with seeds.
All right, the 7 out of the 50 that got the joke, shame on you. Anyway, I feel great. One of my secrets, every day I start by taking 1,200 milligrams of fish oil. Anybody take it? I'm hardly ever sick, I'm much more relaxed, and I can sleep with my eyes open. Fools the shit out of my kids. Hey, Dad, how can we tell if you're awake? I said, I don't know, sprinkle a few flakes on the bed, see if I go for them. Now, if you'll excuse me, your mother is waiting for me upstream. My big news, I just got a hearing aid. I wear it in my left ear, you know, because I'm straight. I have trouble with certain sounds. Like last week, my wife asked me to empty the dishwasher and vacuum the living room. I thought she said, lay on the couch and watch sports. She's like, Les, don't you want to hear? I said, okay, you can bring me a Heineken. My kids think it's a big joke. Yeah, when I wore a hearing aid home for the first time, they're all waiting for me in front of the house like this. Very funny. Even my dog's a wise ass. You know what? We have our dog for 12 years. We finally figured out he's Jewish. Yeah, whenever we let him in and out of the back door, he jumps up in the air, he sticks out his tongue, and he bangs his head against the wall. And he's like... My wife figured it out. He's trying to kiss the mezuzah. I expected so much more from that punchline. Anyway, my day job, which I'm often told I shouldn't quit, I'm a salesman for a company. That you like. I'm a salesman for a company, and it's a hard job because all day long I got to deal with lots and lots of rejection. Like this morning, it's 4:30, I called up my wife, I had a bad day, and I said, honey, listen, I got really beat up badly today. You know, when I get home later from the comedy show, do you think maybe we could, you know, do a little something tonight? She said, no, thank you, I'm not interested. And please remove me from your list. Don't you hate when people give you a hard time? Check this out. Last week I went to the diner with a buddy of mine. He ordered soup, a salad, steak sandwich, french fries, 2 beers, a piece of apple pie, and a cup of coffee. All I had was an English muffin. When the bill comes, he goes, Les, tell you what, to make it easy, why don't we just split the check? I said, fine, you pay the check, I'm going to split. I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is the epitome of getting a hard time. Last Sunday I did a major shopping run at Pathmark. I got online on the express lane, right? I do it all the time. Lady behind me starts flipping out. Hey, mister, can't you read the sign? It says 10 items or less. I said, yeah, I'm Les. Thanks, everybody. I'm Les Deegan. Back to your host, Ray.
Les Deegan, everybody. Give a round of applause. Fantastic. That proves less is more. Our next contestant is not only talented, attractive, and from my hometown. Please welcome the very funny, very talented, very beautiful Robin Shaw.
Hello, everybody! Look at all you good-looking Jews. Certainly, you are a good-looking Jew, and you are a good-looking Jew, and you are a good-looking Jew, yes. All right, how's everyone doing? Everyone good? Great. Look, guys, I already know what you're thinking. Oh my God, it's Ricky Lake. I know, I get it a lot. Actually, another celebrity I once got, but I used to be really heavy, and a boy once told me I looked like Danny DeVito as the Penguin in Batman Returns. I do wobble a little, it's okay. And now the recent celebrity I get all the time is a less tan Snooki. Do you know who Snooki is, mister? She's from the Jersey Shore, okay? It's nothing special. But I do have a lot in common with the Snooks. We're both 4'11". And so is Danny DeVito, but whatever. And also me and Snooks, we have the same, this is true, the same learning disability. Like when we read a book, we have to read a page 10 times before we can really understand what Dr. Seuss is talking about. But wait, just take a second and recap that. I have been told I resemble Ricky Lake's face, Snooki's IQ, and the body of Danny DeVito as the Penguin in Batman Returns. My life is awesome. Thank you for clapping. It makes me feel great. Okay, so like I said, I used to be really heavy. At peak, I was 250 pounds, which is big. I used to eat Domino's pizza like 2 to 3 times a week. Day. So I was big. Dating was just not, it was just not, leave it. And so that's why now, as an FF, former fatty, I don't discriminate. Like I still date KFs, current fatties. And is anyone here dating a fatty, like a big fat? All right, well you're all missing out on warmth. Being overweight led me down an interesting path. I'm now a CEO, closet eater offender. Women know what closet eating is, right? Women? No? Yeah, okay. So a closet eater, sir, is when you don't like to eat in front of people, so you only eat in secrecy. Really healthy, really. And that's why if you look at my purse at any given time, I've hidden food, you know, like an apple or a granola bar. 6-foot hero. And I was out to lunch with my mom on Saturday. Oh wait, Saturday was my birthday. I turned 21. Thank you. Around 4 years ago. And so I'm out to lunch with my mom. I ordered this little salad to show her how healthy I've become. And then I kept sneaking off to the bathroom to eat shit that was in my purse. Third time coming back from the bathroom, my mom says to me, loud enough for the entire restaurant to hear, she goes, Robin! You've gone to the bathroom 3 times! What, you're throwing up in there? Throwing up? I mean, I would never waste food like that. My mom is so hard on me on the type of guys I'm dating. She wants me to date more Jewish guys. And Robin, you should date a Jewish guy. Date a Jewish. Okay, but here's the problem, Jews. I'm like a Jew repellent. You boys don't like me. You like bounce like cha-ching, cha-ching right off me, you know? Are you guys single? My mom sent me this email once, and it was titled Jewish Shabbat Speed Date Night, okay? Which is like, I don't know, a little pathetic. So when I went, I was shocked. I ended up meeting a really hot Jew. Oh wait, you know the Jews you just want to like knock off their yarmulke, take a bite of their challah, you know? I'm sure the camera you were there. Anyway, hold on, I'm gonna go back. So I end up meeting this Jew, hot. I go out with him, and we go back to his place. And right before we walk into his apartment, Jew says to me, you know, Robin, keep it down. My roommate's probably asleep. Okay. I soon find out by roommate, he meant his Jewish mother. And by find out, I mean, I pranced out of the bathroom, completely naked, just to hear a Jewish mother scream, hey, Gregory, you brought home a prostitute? Oh my God, she was talking about me. I was so embarrassed. I just got the hell out of there. I mean, I got paid for it, but, no. So, my life is just great, really. I live in Long Beach. I'm from Long Island, if you didn't know. So I have this rule living on the beach that whenever I'm in a bathing suit, I stay indoors. And there was this one time I was in a leopard string bikini tanning by the oven in my kitchen when I get this frantic call from my dad. He's like, Robin, emergency, I have to go to the hospital, quick, pick me up. So without thinking, I run out of my apartment, I get into my car, and I go pick up my dad in a leopard string bikini, okay? I get my dad in the car, I drive him to the emergency room, I jump out, oh wait, time out. The big emergency was he sprained his ankle, okay? Jews in pain, we can't, no, we just can't. So I go, I get my dad a wheelchair, I bring the wheelchair to my dad, all in a leopard string, oh wait, time out. Just for our visual, my dad is a 5-foot frantic accountant named Ira, okay? Kind of looks like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. You're like, I roll him into the emergency room in a leopard. Oh wait, time out. This is when I'm fat. So you have to put the leopard string bikini on the body of Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Batman Returns. Roll him into the emergency room. Guys, I swear, only the pathetic face of Robin Shaw, who was there. Ah, Gregory, it's that prostitute! Alright, guys, it's Robin Shaw.
Robin Shaw, everybody. Fantastic. We're going to keep this moving right along. For those of you who watch Letterman, Leno, and Conan O'Brien, and so does our next performer. Please welcome the very funny Mike Broad.
backstage, some of the guys were telling me that I should drink a couple of shots. I start feeling cool and loose. So now I'm feeling cool and loose, just I can't remember Jack. Actually, I can't remember Jack because that's the stuff that I was drinking to make me cool and loose. It's not that big a deal that I can't remember my stuff because frankly it wasn't that freaking funny anyway. Cotton, silk, satin, wool, polyester. Sorry, just trying to remember material. You know, this past weekend they legalized same-sex marriage, and I was just waiting up to decide what they can do with no-sex marriage, so I know where mine stands. It's been a long time since I haven't done comedy often lately. I mean, I still get on stage 2-3 times a week, but just isn't that funny. But some of my friends were telling me that the thing to do is you have to practice in front of a mirror. That didn't really work out for me because the guy in the mirror knew the material better than I did. And he kept on twinting at me, kept on saying, give me some funny lines, give me some lines. That's what the guy in the mirror said. But you know, each time I get up on stage, I learn something new. The last time I was on stage, I wanted to improvise the entire set. I wanted to get up here without any prepared material, and I learned something. I never knew I could get on stage and pee my pants in front of a live audience. And the people who were sitting up front, I think they were really touched by it. I'd like to thank family and friends for coming here tonight, but I can't because, of course, they didn't. I'm thinking they were thinking that maybe I should have been at my son's wedding tonight. But I'm sort of like I went to all of his stupid stage show appearances, and why couldn't he come to mine tonight? But at the same time, I'd like to acknowledge in the audience the presence of the lovely bride, Charlotte. I do intend on keeping my promise of getting you to the catering hall on time for, the breaking glass thingy. I'm a little bit excited because my agent told me that he's actually begun early telephone negotiations with Comedy Central for me to get my own TV sitcom, which is kind of exciting. But he did tell me they actually haven't picked up any of the phone calls yet. But I'm kind of remaining optimistic. I think in life, what you have to do is you have to set high goals, and then you can reach them if you work really hard. My goal has always been to be a child star in a TV sitcom. And even though that hasn't happened, I'm pretty sure the producers of Full House are going to realize that Michelle Tanner really should have had a younger brother. When that phone call comes in, I'll be ready. I believe you really have to try and keep yourself physically fit today. At my annual exam with my doctor, he recommended to me a diet. He said you eat a lot of carrots because they're good for your eyes. He said you have to eat a lot of oat products because they're good for the heart, to lower the cholesterol, and drink a lot of water. So he gave me a diet basically of carrots, oat, and water, which for me became socially problematic. Because now when I go to the racetrack with the guys, they're not betting on the horses, they're betting on me. And it almost got painful the last time for me because I broke my ankle on the way to the betting window, and the guys put out the shotguns because they wanted to put me to sleep. Now this whole thing with division, bifocals has been problematic for me. It's affecting my sex life. Because now when I have sex, I have to hold a magazine like this. Came back from my therapist this week, and he told me I had to come to terms that I was abused as a child. My earliest memories are when the nurse carried me from the maternity room and brought me to my mother, who held me in her arms, put my head to her breast. She said, "You suck." My family was so strange. When we went on vacations, the signs on the hotel door in our bed were already disturbed. My family, even when they did something positive, they always had a negative undertone to it. Like when they got me my car, they got me a Morano. Morano, that's what they did. And to this day, I told my father I'm going to do comedy tonight. He says, so you can get up on stage? They're just going to laugh at you. But the wife doesn't know that I'm here tonight. She wouldn't approve of me doing stand-up comedy. She thinks it's too risque. I told her I went to a strip club. Actually, she knows that I'm here. When I told her I was going to do 5 minutes on stage, she said, wow, I've never seen him last 5 minutes at anything. But I gotta tell you, the economy's been tough. I just read about this hooker. She lost her job, she became a destitute. You know, a lot of women today are going for implants because they're worried about the flat tax. My stockbroker got caught having an affair on Wall Street. What happened was he opened at 7/8 and they caught him at 6 1/4. That's what happened to my stockbroker. I read it in the Wall Street Journal. Strange merger. Continental Airlines was going to merge with Aer Lingus, and they're going to call the new company Conolingus. The Wall Street Journal. I'm trying to get up to date with my technology. I just got new windows for my computer. Next week I'm getting curtains. I'm pretty sure my computer's caught a virus because the past 3 days it's been spitting up information. Information is spitting up. My friend was trying to figure out how to have sex on the internet, so he took an intercourse. You like? But just some vocabulary words of having a problem, and if you take it orally, why are they calling it aspirin? And why do they call it ED, erectile dysfunction, when this doesn't function? And let me just close with one Anthony Weiner joke. I mean, the Weiner family got together and said, "You're ruining our family name." He said, "Our family name is Weiner." That's it, I'm out.
Mike Roth, everybody. Okay, our next contestant wrote me his introduction. I'm going to read it to you. Steve Ladd, originally from Memphis, Tennessee, where he got his main inspiration from his hilarious grandmother. He's a psychiatrist, which explains why this is written like a Rorschach test, I guess. Now resides in Teaneck, New Jersey. He's been doing stand-up comedy for 6 months. Apparently he's laying down comedy for over 3 years. Please welcome Steve Ladd.
Well, yeah, I was like... Excuse me. Well, it's so nice to see you. You know, a Jewish comedy competition, what an ingenious way to make sure that a Jew comes in first. We used to be on the top of the game, but, you know, I am a psychiatrist, and I have to tell you, as much as I love my day job, I really want to be famous. In our society, if you're not famous, you're really not, you're not appreciated. It's like if Brad Pitt was found stabbed to death on his living room carpet. The headline would say, "Brad Pitt brutally murdered." The same thing happened to me would say, "Man ruins expensive carpet." I want to go out a little bit more than that. You know, so as a psychiatrist, you know, many people ask me, what's the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist? Psychiatrists, we can give out drugs. So essentially, I'm like a cool psychologist. Yeah. You know, I'm always looking to make more money. Not because I'm Jewish, it's just like in my blood. You know, I love how they do it in amusement parks. Like, have you been to Disney World? Yeah. So what I did is I've got a camera in my office now, and all my patients leave through a gift, you know, gift shop. It's great for business, you know. I'll take a 5x7, the 5x7 of when I realized that my father is the reason for all my problems. Yeah, I'll take one of those, and this one, then I'm completely in the fetal position, sucking my thumb and crying when I realized I'm never going to get my parents to divorce. I'll take one of those, and one of those little, one of those, and that should be, I do want to get another pair of those Freudian slippers. That'd be great. All right, yeah, thank you very much. And I do go to my own therapy. Anybody here in therapy? Bullshit. Okay, yeah. Right. actually, I think Mike, right before here, is actually supposed to be coming to see me next Tuesday. But I'll tell you, I go to my own therapy, and it's not so easy, you know, because it's kind of confusing. You know, he's analyzing me, I'm analyzing him, then he's analyzing me, analyzing him, and then of course I've got to analyze him, analyzing me, analyzing him. I got to tell you, before the end of it, Leonardo DiCaprio jumps out, and we both fall into this black hole of therapy. Inception, hello, anybody going to movies? You're allowed, part of the religion, you're allowed. Go see the movie. But I'll tell you, it's really interesting how two therapists in the same room doing therapy is very similar to two drug dealers using drugs together. Think about it, look at this. They're both very intense. Both lead to families falling apart, and somebody dies. Yeah, it ends in death because it goes on forever. Yeah, that's the connection. Yeah, so I've had some issues. You know, do you play Nintendo? The Nintendo Wii games are incredible. Yeah, oh my God, did you see the Nintendo Golf? So realistic. I turned it on, and it rejected me right away because I was Jewish. Just incredible. And you know, I've had issues. You know, I love actually Hanukkah. It's my favorite holiday. However, I don't get dreidel. Who came up with this game? You like rolling dice? Well, I'll tell you. We're going to cut off two sides of it, so it's impossible to use. But hold on. What if I told you you'd be able to play with a spinning top? Everybody loves a good top. What are the stakes? Oh, you're going to be playing for gold coins. Oh, no. These are fake gold coins filled with chocolate. That's right. It's like real money, except with the danger of messing up your good pants. Yeah, that's a great game. Let's put that in. You know, let's have that stay for a few thousand years. Great game. Yeah, we can't, you know, Jews, we can't get rid of anything. I mean, you know, you wear black pants, you do this, you do steps this way. We've got, you know, I don't understand a lot of the rules that we do, like kosher. Are you telling me I'm going to get to heaven and God's going to say, well, let me see here, Steve Ladd. Oh, you saved an orphanage. Huh. You cured cancer. And you stopped global warming. Well, oh shit, you had a cheeseburger in '94. Sorry. I was thinking about converting to Buddhism, but you know, I realized I really like brisket. Yeah. But you know, judging from the size of Buddha, he liked it too. I've got a brother-in-law who's always telling me that I'm going to hell. So I said to him, are you going to be there? And he said, of course not. And I said, well, it sounds like heaven to me. Because he's not going to be there for the three people who didn't get that. Yeah. He is an asshole, but everybody who lives in Memphis, Tennessee is nothing like relatives that live far away. I do have children. My oldest daughter, she copies me. She competes with me. I sing, she sings. I do stand-up, she does stand-up. I'm telling you, I'm like, if you start banging my wife. Okay. Oh, this is a Jewish crowd. Oh, damn, I'm sorry. Let me take it back. If you start hanging out with my wife, see, it's not funny either, you know. Thank you very much. The people who are smiling, you know. But I'll tell you, it's not easy because I've got my youngest daughter, and she's like, you know, she's clicking her little text, and I was texting with her the other day, and she's like, hey, Dad. And I'm like, hey, hon. And she's like, what you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing fine, I'm good. And she says, can you go out and get me something to eat? And I'm like, since we're sitting here on the couch together, you think we could talk about it? What's the emoticon for get off your lazy ass? Yeah. That's the way you're supposed to talk to your children. I'm a psychiatrist, I know. My son moved in, and that can be uncomfortable. Today I walked in on him. Oh God, it was, you know, and he was reading the Bible. I know, gross. Like, next time I come in here, you better be... Oh, that's right, Jewish crowd. I'm not gonna go there, don't go there, Steve. So, it looks like this guy wants me to end here. I think he's an anti-Semite. Let's not go there, because he's judging me. Yeah, I was just kidding. So, yeah, I was just gonna say that my son, you know, as a matter of fact, I love the way the English language totally just really describes groups better than any other language. Better than Yiddish, it really does. It's like, you know, a flock of doves, a gaggle of geese, a herd of buffalo. I think we should actually do that to other groups, like a complaining of Jews. How about a snooky of skanks? Maybe a congress of stupid perverts. Well, I definitely won't say an explosion of Muslims. Thank you very much.
Steve Ladd, everybody. That's people. Well, I got a question. You're from Tennessee. I'm just curious. When a husband and wife get divorced, are they still brother and sister? I know it's always a legal issue now, well, today in New York. It's nice to see that people can get married no matter who they are. I think that's nice. I really do. I think they should experience the thrill of divorce. Right? Also the marriage tax on their income tax, right? What do you mean? We were paying less last year. They introduced me as Dr. Seltzer, and I am a doctor, and I will tell you that I have a lot of senior citizen patients, and I was thinking of this before when Dick Capri was up. We have any seniors in the room? Because it looks like a pretty young crowd, maybe one or two. I had an 89-year-old patient call me up, this is true because she can't make this up, sharp as a tack, said, Dr. Seltzer, will you call in a prescription for me? I said, absolutely. What do you want? She says, I need birth control pills. See, you do realize at your age you can't get pregnant. She says, oh no, silly, I know that. They help me sleep. I said, how the hell are you using them? She said, well, what I do is I crush them up, and then I put them in my granddaughter's orange juice, and I sleep a whole lot better. Keep that laughter going for our next contestant. He's known all around the block, and I'm going to read this so I say it correctly, as the Jew Master Flex, the one, the only, the very funny, Saul Good.
What's crack-a-lacking? What's good, everybody? I'm Saul Good. Fresh from the hood. And sometimes I wear a do-rag, sometimes a weave, depending on my hormones. But, you know, I'm trying to clean up my image, so I've been seeking out some civilized bitches on the Upper West Side, instead of the recommendations from Anthony Weiner. I actually met Weiner at my 8th grade graduation. He was a councilman then. I shook his hand, and I've been using Purell ever since. It's been tough. But, you know, my hood includes some homies like Sir Mix-a-Latka, Dr. Dreidel, and Young Schmuck. They're very sweet. They love me dearly. They even changed my name from Saul Good to Saltine, because I'm a popular cracker. And, lately, I've been having a tough time satisfying all the shiksas in my life. You see, I teach all of LeBron James's illegitimate children. Apparently, he also brought his talents to the sperm bank, so that was good for him. And, you know, so some of my Catholic honeys, like Mary Kate and Ashley, they've been waiting to be satisfied. Usually reliable mailman who's been having trouble delivering. Every day's been a Sunday. But I try to think of some sweet thoughts, some comforting thoughts, comfort foods like Hamantaschen, to calm me down during hardcore shtupping. So I put together a song, and it should satisfy a freak like Lady Gaga. It's about Hamantaschen. So here we go. Ukrainian Jews never hang out with me. They all think they're too cool with their silky smooth back hair and thick accents, frightening like Ivan Drago. Cooking a feast for Purim is a chore. There is so much to bake. Hamantaschen resembles the hairstyle of Snooki on the Jersey Shore. It's a TV show I like. Why is it the case that no one ever eats the filling made with seeds from poppies? Oh my my Jewish peeps hate poppy seeds because they get stuck in teeth. Maybe if you flossed, you'd want a bite of hamantaschen filled with seeds from poppies. All right, thank you so much. Now, as I said, I teach. I work in New York City's fabulous public school system. It's a tough gig. And lately there's been a little bit of a rule. I can't stimulate the kids using textbooks, so instead I use KY jelly. And I figure, while test scores won't go up, at least testicles will. And that's good enough for Bloomberg, so I'm happy with that. And I wonder so much why I struggle. And I think maybe it's because I'm just too damn sexy. I get complimented a lot for having luscious thighs and some nice cake batter. While other teachers have sagging ass cheeks or bony buttocks, I really promote myself as a quality piece of kosher meat. So on that note, here's a song to the tune of Super Freak. It's called Kosher Meat. Do-do-do-do, he's a very classy Jew. Wears a robe and silk pajamas. And he often goes to lunch with corporate bosses on Park Avenue. Eats hamburgers as a snack. And hot dogs as appetizers. Making sure he gets exactly what he orders. Special types of food. He sometimes orders chicken, sometimes orders beef. The meat sounds very tasty. Tasty kosher meat. He really wants to eat some kosher meat. Take a bite, just one bite. Juicy cuts of meat. He eats kosher meat, specially slaughtered cows. All right, thanks so much. It's kosher meat. Life's been pretty tough, but thankfully I'm no stranger to abuse. Because back in college, I dated a smoking hot Islamic fundamentalist. We actually met at the State University of New York, and she loved it because it's a Sunni and not a Shiite. And things started off really well. I really enjoyed her Gaza striptease, but eventually I had to withdraw. She was draining my West Bank account. So it was pretty hurtful, pretty tough. I really just need to find the job that's about as satisfying as Arnold Schwarzenegger's housekeeper. So to highlight some of my job options, I'll leave you with a little tune. This is to the tune of Rihanna's big hit S&M. It's called No Job. Here we go. Na 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 na, no job, no job. Unemployed, feeling sad. Wanna stroke my neighbor's cat. Maybe I can sell halal chicken or some porn. Need a job very bad. I can run a hot dog stand. Maybe modeling Speedos was why I was born. Well, I can't teach teenagers, I terribly suck at it. Can't pay my rent, I'll be evicted in 1 minute. Working as a teacher blows, it makes me want to vomit. No job, no job. All right, thank you so much. You've been really great. It's all good.
Saul from the Hood Good. Okay, we are going to continue. Please welcome a gentleman who's been a finalist before. He performs around the metropolitan area, around Long Island. Sometimes he does comedy. Please welcome the very funny Neda.
Okay, I got dressed up for the event. It's a Jewish event, so I grew a beard. Let's go. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. It's hilarious. Yeah. First joke. Okay, first joke. I was making out with a girl. It's clearly a joke. I was making out with this girl. She's a little bit of a promiscuous girl. She's the type of girl that has hepatitis O. Meaning, it's like blood type O. You can give hepatitis to anybody. No, but we were getting real dirty, hot and heavy and everything. She leans over, she whispers in my ear, she goes, I want you inside of me. So I picked her nose. It's weird. She's like, what are you doing? All right. So yeah, no, Jews are very, very sexual people. We are. There's a lot of stuff we'll do, but there's one thing we won't do. We won't ever titty fuck a girl. And I'll tell you what. You can't mix milk and meat. Simple as that. Oh, I get it. Yeah, no, I love milk. I love all types of milk products, milk subsidiaries, like cheese and shit. I love ice cream. Who loves ice cream? Clap it up for ice cream. Like, who really is like, no, I hate ice cream. Really, I guess lactose intolerant people, but yeah, no, I like ice cream because I think I'm like ice cream in the fact that I'm really pleasing, but if you take in too much of me at once, I'll hurt your brain. Which is weird. So there's a, moving along, all right, there's a hardware store near me called the Nut House. It's a 24-hour hardware store, which is awesome, very convenient. A little weird though, I gotta be careful where I leave my receipts, because it looks like a gay bar. And if my friend would see a receipt on my table in my apartment, he'd be like, is this a receipt from the Nut House at 3 in the morning for a 6-inch screw? I'm like, come on, man, I couldn't find anything to nail. I had to go to the Nut House. I just wanted to drill something. I had to take care of my wood. I really just wanted my knob polished. You know what? The show's over. I'm just going to do hardware puns for the rest of the evening. Here we go. I think I'll be coming unhinged. Can we just pause and appreciate the humor in a Jew telling hardware jokes? Is that awesome? Yeah. All right. I'll talk about what Jews really know about the movies. I just saw a movie yesterday, actually. It sucked. X-Men First Class. Worst movie ever. And no, what? No, it was cool, okay, they shoot fire, that's cool and everything, but come on, the lines are so cheesy and predictable. I remember at the end, Professor X is talking to his CIA friend, and he goes, we're still G-Men. And she's like, you're more than G-Men.
You're X-Men.
Thank you. Predictable line. And you know that means that this movie is going to be straight to DVD. And you can call out all the straight-to-DVD movies on the DVD rack, because you're looking at all the features, and they try to brag about things that just a normal movie has. They'll say things like, full-length movie. Aren't all movies full-length movies? Sound. Moving pictures for a limited amount of time. Approximately 90 minutes, I would say. It spins inside, so you can't see it, because it's a DVD. Speaking of craptastic movies, I forgot who Vin Diesel was for a little bit, and I just remember he was that guy from Triple X. So I was like, what's this guy's name again? So I go to Google, I type in Triple X. Here's a piece of advice for you. Don't type Triple X into the internet. You'll find everything but that movie. And the Google search suggestions, it's Triple X Asian goat fetish. I'm like, that's your first thing, Google? Really, Google? Google's first suggestions are way off. I'm like, hey Google, why is my computer messed up? I type in why is my, you guys go home and try this tonight. Type in why is my, first thing that pops up goes, why is my poop green? Really, Google? That's your most commonly asked question. Why is my poop green? Okay. I'm like, okay, Google, I'm going to humor you. Why is my poop green? So I click it, and it's did you mean why is my poop brown? It took us 0.43 seconds to realize you might have a problem. You might want to get that checked out. Here's a link to WebMD. You should really look at that. Speaking of technology, I don't know, older folks, are any of you on Facebook yet? Anybody over the age of 30, please clap your hands if you're on Facebook. People are 30, okay, should I make the cutoff 40? Okay, fine. Yeah, Facebook, wow, I'm surprised at the amount of clapping, but I guess not, because my mom's on Facebook, and this is the same woman that'll send me an IM that's like, Dear Eric, how are you? I am instant messaging. LOL, parentheses, laughing out loud. Kids are saying this because I'm a cool mom. Love, mom. I'm like, Mom, you don't have to write it like a letter. And it's like the weirdest part about having my mom on Facebook, aside from the fact that I'm not her son until I confirm it. Is it like, I don't want to get poked by my mom. I mean, that's weird. I might want to poke, you know, your mom or something. But come on. But not only that, or like moms and dads joining Facebook, Facebook is like becoming like your mom. I'll be like sitting on Facebook, up in the top right corner, it's like, Eric, whatever happened to Saul Smith? You don't talk to him anymore. You maybe write on his wall, say hello, poke him, do something. You guys used to be such good friends, you know, and now you don't talk to him anymore. Thanks, Mom. So, and with this one, you know, speaking of parents and everything, you gotta appreciate where you came from. You do. And when you think about where you came from, did you ever think that out of all the sperm that it took to create you, and you're laughing already. You're like, it's like a lot of sperm. Okay. That you were the chosen one, right? Probability? Yeah, you were the chosen one. You were the one that was most physically fit to get to that egg first. Yeah. And then like, I can like, use that to like brag to a chick. I'm like, I was physically fit at one point. No, you like most physically fit to get to the egg first. I look at myself. Am I really the most physically fit to get to the egg first? Which leads me to one of two conclusions. Either my dad's sperm is really messed up, or it's kind of like when they let the retarded kid score the touchdown at the football game. It's like, hey guys, going in, yeah! It's funny because it looks like a sperm. Alright, thanks a lot. You guys have been great. My name is Eric Neda. Eric Neda, everybody.
Those who got these cards, just so you know about them, you get a free 8-week subscription to the Jewish Week. It's really a great thing to see and to read. I can tell you that. In fact, our next contestant is featured in the Jewish Week. He performs around all the Hillels, universities. Very, very funny guy. Please welcome the very talented Aaron Freeman.
Shalom, Jews. How are ya? Yes, you are Jews. Yes, embrace it. Oh, I love being a Jew. I love being a Jew in the summertime especially. It's easy. It's hard. In the United States, the hardest time in the United States to be a Jew is what time of the year?
Winter.
Winter and Christmas, both acceptable. Yes. It's so hard. We try to lie to ourselves. We tell ourselves, hey, Christmas ain't so great, you know? Hanukkah is just as good, right? Christmas, one day, Hanukkah ain't. Christmas, one day presents, Hanukkah ain't. Christmas, you get one Xbox, one iPad. Hanukkah, we get 8 pairs of socks. Yeah! Beat that. I love Hanukkah. Give me an H, give me an A, give me C-H, give me C-H-A. C-A-H-A-N-K-K-K-K. Okay, that's not right. They don't like candles on fire. Nobody knows how to. Oh, leave the KKK alone. Nobody knows how to spell Hanukkah. Everyone here has a different spelling of Hanukkah, but we all know how to spell Christmas, don't we? Right? It ends M-A-S and it begins with the name of our Lord, of course. No, some people won't have it. I bet there's some people here say, no, I do not write out Christmas. I won't do it. No. What do they do instead of Christmas? Xmas. That's right. X-M-A-S. Take that. Really? Xmas? As if Christmas weren't cool enough, now it's one letter away from being an X-Man. That's practically saying that Jesus could be Wolverine, which would be awesome. Now that I think about it, Jesus and Wolverine, kind of similar. Think about it. They both had tortured past, poor choice of words. They both had famous origin stories, unkempt hair, indestructible adamantium skeleton with retractable claws. Well, no, actually that kind of works, because Wolverine had metal come out of his hands and Jesus was Jewish. Remember the cool X-Men Wolverine? No. I I like Hanukkah. I like it, but the only problem I have has got to be the food. You know, it was mentioned earlier, I think, because what is the name of the chocolate confection in the little mesh pouch? Shout out if you know.
Yes.
Right, of course. How Jewish. Even the candy sounds like guilt. Why not call it a bag of I really shouldn't? Really? Guilt? Really? This is what we're putting out there, Jews? Chocolate coins? Are we trying to perpetuate this stereotype now? I mean, what's next? You know, marzipan noses, candy corn horns, chocolate-covered foreskins? It doesn't make sense. Which incidentally is the name of my favorite interracial Jewish porno. But that's beside the point. It's a good movie. I also like Tyrell's first Hanukkah bush. But besides Hanukkah and Christmas, something I like as well. It's easier in the spring, I think. Because in the spring, it's a lot easier to be a Jew. Because what is the Jewish holiday in the spring?
Passover.
And the Christian holiday?
Easter.
Right. Now, on paper they seem kind of similar, but then you realize they're not similar at all. Because Christians, they get glazed ham and candied yam and cooked with ham and jam. I don't know what Christians eat. But Jews get matzah, which is like cardboard that makes you irregular. But Christians, they get chocolate eggs, chocolate rabbits, chocolate everything, chocolate. Jews get chocolate-covered matzah. And yet, therein lies the mystery of Easter and Passover. It's not, where did the Jews hide the afikomen? It's not, why does the Christian God have a Hispanic first name? It's not that. The mystery is, tell me why? Why do Christians love matzah so damn much? It doesn't make sense. But I figured it out. I have figured it out. You see, Christians, they go to church, right? And they get a little tiny wafer. And they're told, this wafer is the body of Jesus. This wafer is their God. And then Passover comes. And Jews show up with their gigantic sheets of matzah. And Christians have a gastronomical, theological crisis. They lose their minds. They're like, your Jewish God must be huge. Christians have cracker envy, people, and they think we have the Costco version of the communion wafer. But you know, religious snack food. But you know, apparently that's what Jesus said at the Last Supper. That's what he said. Apparently he was hosting the Last Supper. He's like, thank you, all my apostles, for being here. Thank you. John, Paul, Ringo, Zach, Cody, thank you for coming. Here, have this cracker. Thanks, Jesus. Thanks. That cracker is my body. Excuse me? Okay, well, Jesus, it's a little dry, so I guess you should moisturize. Do you have anything to wash it down? How about some wine? It is my blood. All right, Jesus. First of all, next time I pick the caterer. Second of all, is there any food here that is not made of you? What do you got over there? Oh, you mean these 2 eggs and this pickle? You know what? I'm good. Thank you, my dear Freeman. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Wonderful. We have a special treat for you this evening. We do. We have a 2-time winner of this fantastic contest. You can hear him on Sirius Radio. Please welcome Michael Salloway.
Sorry for not looking more Jewish, dude. Looking at me like I just flew in from a cross burning. And yeah, this is my real voice. Sorry again. We have any Southerners in the house? Yeah, where you? Hey, Paula Dean, where are you from?
Missouri.
Missouri.
Oh, Missouri.
Missouri. Any other Southerners? Yeah. How'd you end up here?
Took the car.
Nice. That's how I got here. But yeah, I grew up in rural Alabama and Jewish. Not too sure how familiar most of you guys are with rural Alabama, but trust me, it's a little easier to find people with extra fingers and extra toes than it is to find Jewish people. Kid you not, my entire town looked like a bunch of Chernobyl survivors. Or the future generation of Japanese. Oh, snap, he went there. So is everybody good? Is everybody enjoying themselves? Yeah! Nice. Why are you taking my picture, dude? Alright, I'll let it slide. So rural Alabama, anybody visited there?
Yes.
You have? Wait, sir in the back is just way too enthusiastic. Why have you been there?
Road trip.
Really? Grandma? No. Sir was super enthusiastic. Were you really in Alabama?
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
Why were you there? I'll tell jokes later. I'm interrogating. Why? Seriously, why were you there?
It was a road trip of like bluegrass music lovers. Me and my friends like bluegrass.
So, did you alert them when you crossed state lines that you were entering? You have to, they track their Jews. Did you alert them? Are you Jewish?
We didn't tell them we were Jewish.
All right, cool. That's why you're still here. I'm actually flying down there Wednesday. I'm excited. I'm gonna re-hillbilly myself. It's my favorite time of the year going down for 4th of July. I get to go to the lake and hang out with all the rednecks. Rednecks love the lake. Oh, you guys been to the lake with the rednecks? Yeah, they just drink beer and drive boats. It's safe. No, but growing up the way I did, it made certain times in my life crazy. Like when I was studying for my bar mitzvah, I brought the Hebrew to school, and I should have known I were about to get asked a question like this as soon as I saw the kid walking toward me. He had the 2 worst hairstyles of all time at the same time. He had a rat tail come down on the back of his mullet. Had some stripes shaved in the sides. He came up to me, he's like, Michael, say something Jewish. Like, dude, it's Hebrew. I don't go up to you and be like, hey, white trash, kick me out of phrase and hooked on phonics. Another awesome time in my life. Every year, the holidays. Because who would the teacher get to tell the class about Hanukkah? The only Jewish person she'd ever seen. Like these kids really cared what my family's in the house doing while they're outside trying to ignite a cross on my yard. First of all, we're Jewish. Why are you burning crosses in our yard? Doesn't mean anything to us. You really want to piss us off once you burn something important to us. Like a $20 bill. My family been outside swinging like you can't believe it. We'd be rioting. I heard some Klan mentions earlier. Who mentioned the Klan? Woo! Woo! Are you worried they're going to find you over there? Don't worry. I already know where you are. No, I'm not in the Klan. I did watch a History of the Klan on TV the other day. Anybody else watch that? Did you see it the other morning?
Not the other morning. I've seen it before.
Yeah, I watch it every time it's on. I love it. I love it. It's like going home. But have you guys ever come home to a car full of rednecks sitting in front of your house trying to observe the elusive Jew in its natural habitat? It's insane. I don't know, but it's nuts. Growing up, I had no Jewish friends. I was the only Jewish family in the county. A town of about 13,000 people. Literally, many people in my hometown is one city block. Over 50 churches. Jesus may be a lot of things. One thing will never be in my hometown: homeless. It's a big old houses too, mega cribs. But has anybody here ever seen a picture of Jesus?
Yeah.
Of course you have. He's never happy, right? It's always sad. I'm going to tell you why. Have you guys know how difficult it is to date Jewish girls? Guys, really? You guys just cruising through the Jewish dating scene, having all this luck with these ladies? Let me tell you about Jesus. Jesus was a carpenter. That's a blue-collar job. What Jewish girl do you know that'll date a blue-collar guy? Poor guy had to invent a religion just to get a date. My Christian friends don't like that. Do we have any Christians in the house tonight? I'm not gonna make fun of you. I'm gonna make fun of you. No, I won't do that. But growing up, all my friends were Christian. None of my friends were Jewish. And to this day, when I make friends, I tend to not make friends with Jewish people. Yet, for some strange reason, every time my non-Jewish friends do something just a little Jewish, they feel the need to call me. My Asian friend called me up the other day. She's like, Michael, I just ate matzah. So, I don't call my Asian friend up every time I eat fried rice. I don't call my Mexican friends up every time I eat a burrito. And I definitely don't call my Puerto Rican friends up every time I beat my girlfriend. I'm kidding, I don't have any Puerto Rican friends. Curveball. Are we all Americans? Yeah. Seriously, raise your hand if you're not American. Who's not American? Where are you from?
Israel.
Oh, Mazel Tov. That's the only word I know that sounds even remotely Jewish, so I had to throw it out there. Sorry if I'm spitting on the front row, I don't know. But, so Americans, let's talk about Americans and our good things that we're getting lately. We are the most overweight and most in-debt country in the world. Clap your hands for that one, people. Unless you guys are too winded. No, but anybody who's here, raise your hand if you've been to Disney World. Yeah, everybody. We guys all know the ride, It's a Small World? Yeah. Does everybody know what recently happened on the ride, It's a Small World? Yeah. Due to the overweight Americans and our expanding waistlines, the boats were sinking and getting stuck. And they devised a plan of what they had to do. This is a true story. They had to dig the canals out a little deeper to accommodate the expanding waistlines of the Americans. But in the meantime, until they had a chance to actually drain the ride and do this, if they saw somebody looked a little too overweight in line, what they did is they pulled him out, they apologized to him, we're sorry sir, you can't go on the ride, or ma'am, you can't go on the ride, and they compensated them with food vouchers. Sorry sir, you're a little too heavy for the ride. Cheeseburger? I don't know, let's talk about why we're fat. What constitutes as sports in this country now? Who watches ESPN? Yeah. What's going on with the program? What are they showing now? Bowling? Fishing? A spelling bee?
Hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, July 4th, hot dog eating contest. Is that a sport? No. Alright, but let's talk about that. Who's familiar with the Kobayashi, the guy that won it? Yeah. I'm getting the light here, so I'm gonna speed through this here, but you guys know what Kobayashi looks like in comparison to the rest of the field? Yeah. Tiny. If that's not proof the Japanese can make a smaller, more efficient version of anything, I don't know what is. Alright guys, I gotta turn back over because I think we're getting close to our time limit.
Thanks everybody, big hand for Jewish Week, sponsoring us for 12 years now. Finding even better than that. Alright, that's good. So here's how it works. First of all, I want to thank you all for behaving for the most part and enjoying the show for the most part, of course. And you can leave with one of these, fill it out, you get 8 free weeks of the Jewish Week delivered to your door. So please everyone, if you don't subscribe to the Jewish Week, try us out for 8 weeks, because they do these good things like these shows. So here's how it works. Contestants were graded on a few criteria: audience response, creativity, presentation. That's pretty much how it goes. I have the awards here. They're gift certificates. The first place is $150, the second place is $75, and the third place is $50, all gift certificates. So what we're going to do is, for a picture opportunity, when you're called, please stay on stage, and the host can also come on stage when they're called, so we get a picture for the paper. All right. Now here's how it went. I'm going to read from like the third place up, and there was one comic who was about a point shy of tying for third place, who deserves honorable mention. He had a great set. A big hand for Les Deegan. Okay. We've got to cut it off somewhere. It was just 1 point, so Les did very well. Okay, so third place, Robin Shaw, everybody. Third place, Robin Shaw. Second place, Saul Good, everybody. Fourth place, champion Jewish Week Funniest Comic Contest 2011, Aaron Freeman, everybody. job. Get it on video. Robin actually had another set. She needed to go. That's why she's not here. At another club. We won't mention their name, but it begins with a C. Okay. In any case, I know. And they're in Times Square. So a big hand for all your champions, everybody. Mr. Freddie Counselor for hosting the show. Former Jewish Week champions. Robin's father is accepting the award. Okay, everyone, thanks so much for coming out.
As you can see, it was a fantastic show. Some great comedy, some great fun. This is Arnold Herman. Thank you for watching.